Hey everyone, it's Tuesday night again. You know what that means, don't you? It's time to join Mike and Christy for another episode of Where's My Sage? A show hosted by a psychic medium and a guy on a quest to find Bigfoot. Who would have thought? Together, they will take you on all sorts of adventures, and not with lots of different people. Christy even gives readings. It's time to sit back, get up and get ready. You can't sample the universe sitting down. Your hosts are waiting. Come on, let's go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Where's My Sage, a taste of the universe. I'm Mike with my wonderful co-host, Christy London, and I actually used the touchscreen tonight, so I didn't touch too many things in the wrong spot. Totally mess up.
Just refrain. I'm gonna just no comment.
Yeah, it happens. One of these days, I'll get things figured out. So we're here. This is episode 3 after our comeback from our break, and we've done 2 let's try to remember who we are kind of weeks, and now we actually tonight we got our first
Never
guest.
know who the hell we are.
And no, we don't. I mean, I haven't tripped on myself yet, and I didn't sleep at all last night, so it'll be an interesting show tonight. I did go to work most of the day today. Actually, the whole day.
You work?
So what's new with you? I got a couple of cool things coming in. We got folks coming in right now. I see Max and Jen popping in. So
what's new with me? It's only been a few days. Nothing much. The snow sucks. I hate winter, but I'm not willing to move anywhere. That's going to be like my house will be gone. You know, when it's all over, at least my house is still going to be here in a snowstorm. So, you know. But otherwise, I booked a show. I booked my first gallery of the year, actually. So I just did that last night. I'm going to be back at her sanctuary on February 28th. I have to get my button gear and create an event for that. So tickets will be on sale very, very soon.
You taught a class on Saturday.
I did. I taught a workshop. I got shoved into doing something I've been avoiding for years. And I actually had to put a class together, and I was like stressed. I only had like 3 weeks to do it too. So I was like stressing about, keep it like a 101 kind of thing with mediumship and psychic ability. So I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? And I couldn't like get my thought process going. Like, how am I going to organize this? And then my guides were like, go in the bag, which actually is still sitting right over here, that you have shoved in your closet, and go me. About 1.5 years ago, I actually put an outline together. I forgot I had actually tried to sit down and actually do it. So yeah, I was like, all right, that made my life 10 times easier. It went very well. It was a great group. It was a great group of ladies, and we had fun. Yeah. And it was on the lake. It was right on the lake. Like, the bathroom had these big, huge windows. And when you walk in, you feel exposure like, oh, wait a second, hold. And then you're like, oh, yeah, no, that's like Ontario. There is nobody around. And I'm just enjoying the view. It's just, it was really cool. You need to appreciate that.
And Max is here. Everybody's number 2 tonight.
Max.
I just thought that was ironic to see that as this man was sitting in front of the windows. It's a number 2. Folks, this is going to be...
I was not doing number 2. I was at a function.
I know.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying, tonight, guys, with our guests, is
that's not just for me.
It's
not just for me. No.
Crazy night. So we got a couple more folks popping in here. Hi, Jen.
I know. As soon as he started using the language, I was like, oh, yes, I am not going to be alone. This is going to be great.
So you've got Pottergraphs coming up in April, right?
The end of April, Pottergraphs.
Michigan for that.
Houghton Lake, Michigan.
Max.
Yes. Hi, Jen. Hi, Max. Hi, Micah. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Where's Jeannie?
I don't know.
Have we seen Jeannie? Do we see Jeannie? Is she in the audience? Somebody text Jeannie. Text my mom and remind her that we're live, please.
You got some cousins.
One of these days, I'm going to get a phone call afterwards. you need to stop calling me by my first name. Blah, blah. But she's become like our
I
don't want to say
you
mascot, but like,
well, you
know.
know, since my mom passed and
Hey,
my aunt
Wendy.
passed, it's having your mom here is always a good thing, and
She's the only one left for us to abuse.
Oh, what's you got? Occasional switch to the language. That's it. I'm out. I only use show.
Max, you are welcome to join in the party. Okay. That's awesome. Hi, Dana. Hi, Aunt Dana. How are you? Oh, Mike's frozen. Oh, shoot. Mike's frozen. It looks like it's just us tonight, guys. Oh, there he is. Oh, damn. I was really hoping to see, John was going to have her shot.
No, I grabbed it. So it was my work thing. So,
all right.
We got Bill's here. So we got the Trackways here with us.
Hello, Trackways.
So for you, updates in last week. So we push you to do your book, but either way, you had to write a class.
I'm working on it.
Pushing towards the book.
I'm working on it. I did some things today was about me. It was a work day at home for me, but I started doing some things today that I was told in the middle of doing them. Personal work on myself. I'm exploring a whole new avenue of things. And I was told this was all going to be part of my book. So every time they tell you to tell me work on your book, it was really, hey, dumbass, work on yourself. So here I am. I started today. So go me.
And in the last 2 weeks for me, Deb's still working. So, Wendy said we can use June to pick on. That'll work.
Oh yeah, June. We can go. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Is she here yet?
Some odd years of picking on, not yet that I've seen. So STM, Small Town Monsters, go over to their YouTube channel, or they've got the Unexplained TV and a couple others, but 2 new docs that they rolled out: Return to Whitehall and the High Peaks. High Peaks.
And guess who's in them?
For everybody regular. I'm back in.
Guess who's in him?
So
he's back in. Mr. Movie Star himself over here.
No, the gang must have run out of things to do and stuck me in there. So, but we got a great guest tonight.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Somebody I kind of look up to in the field. Somebody I enjoy getting out with in the Bigfoot world. So tonight, I'm going to bring him on once he gives me the thumbs up and he's ready to go.
Give him a little introduction. Jeez, he is a special guest.
I am. So, but I have this feeling because he and I are already mumbling already. He's not as much as me getting words out wrong, and here's one he said.
He already had me ugly snorting laughing. So I mean, he pulled the Italian snort out of me while I was laughing. So it's gonna be yeah. Yeah,
so
we did
we've got a Bigfoot researcher, a podcaster that's been doing this longer than a lot of the folks we know. A great friend. I know. I said longer than most. I didn't say older than most. I think I'm older than him anyway.
I think you're older than both of us, so that works.
Yeah. Hey, it's Cole's birthday today. Hey, I got a lady.
It is Cole's birthday too. There she is.
Hello.
Thank God Jeannie's here.
We got a twofer. They both joined about the same time. Perfect.
That's awesome. Hi, June.
So Sean, the Forkchop Forker, is with us this evening. I'm going to pull Sean up there, and I was really bad. I thought I was going to butcher that worse than I did. So
okay.
Oh yeah, well, I know myself tonight.
I'm not grading you or anything. Yeah. You're fine.
No, at least I can swear here. Where's my banner tonight? Because
the occasional use of graphic language, explicit language.
The reason he doesn't is because he just thinks it makes me look bad if I'm the only one with a potty mouth here. Okay.
I know Mike's tricks. Right. Oh, Mr. Professional. We'll let everyone else look unprofessional.
And something I've learned from Sean's podcast, the views of our guests are not always the views of Where's My Sage team to give Henry a shout out.
Right.
Except in this case they are. So
That was awesome. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome
thank
to the
you for
circus.
having me.
To the Mass Chaos.
This has been a long time coming. Sean has his wonderful podcast, the Sasquatch Experience, which I've been on a couple of times.
His what?
Did I moot? Did I moot?
Did you moot?
No, but you slurred.
Slurred.
Honest, folks, this is water, even though
he's drinking again.
Yeah, water.
Listen,
always getting yelled at. Drink water.
Sean, we have a thing here. We have our own little version of the drinking game.
Listen, we used to do a beer of the week until I realized my co-hosts can't handle their liquor, so we don't do anything of the week now.
Oh. And around here, the magic word is gimbal.
Gimbal. Okay.
When you hear gimbal, you gotta drink. I mean, it's tea, but you gotta drink.
Hey, what's in your cup is your business. Okay. I don't judge. No one's getting a breathalyzer after this. We're okay.
No. There's no Matt here. No Matt on either case. Matt with a gimbal or Matt with a breathalyzer.
So. Yeah. See? Gimbal.
What we do.
Oh, I got a drink.
Oh, thank you, Max. You got your water?
I'm tracking, folks. I'm tracking. I got the chat up here. I'm watching. I see questions. I see drink sipping. This is going to be a fun time.
Yes. So
20 years, Mike. 20 years. That's how long we've been doing Sasquatch Experience.
And you've been chasing. What's a gimbal?
Sorry.
Oh my God.
It's a stabilization platform for a camera, and it keeps.
It's like a selfie stick, but it moves around while you keep your arms steady. That's
definitely
it's a glorified selfie
gadget.
Stick.
Yes,
right.
When you're chasing somebody through the woods or trying to film, it's really nice instead of looking and watching the bounce.
Or when you're fat and just walking like me, it's nice to have you get that reverb from your footsteps. It kind of shakes the camera around a little bit, and it's good to have.
Or you get left in the woods by your partner and used as bait.
Yeah, that's why. Listen, don't let the fat fool you. I can run, okay? And if you don't think I can run, I can damn sure trip people pretty quick because I'm out. That's somebody else is going to be getting the.
That's right. You only have to be faster than the slowest person.
That's right.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh my God! Hi, Patricia.
Patricia, looks like the session's going to be interrupted by bathroom breaks if they keep drinking.
That's right.
Lightweights.
Listen, man, my bladder was small before I had 3 kids. Thank you very much.
Fair enough. You listen, Mike and I cannot relate, and we're not even going to get behind that.
That's right.
I have a very large bladder, so I'm okay. It's a freakishly large bladder, if anybody cares to know. It's probably a medical condition, but it comes in handy on road trips.
She's seen the phone coming.
Listen, smart ass.
Don't break the seal.
That's right. You can't break the seal.
Yes. And this is why we have to be like, Mike is using Dutch words.
Oh. Sorry, Mike.
He's coming to us from
Netherlands.
The Netherlands. So
she is our friend.
She stays up in the middle of the night. We got a couple of guests that come in.
That's dedication. That's dedication right there.
A lot of come in from England and
yes.
Don't tell anybody the tent they borrowed is soaked in basin.
Well.
Awesome. That's Bill going after those guys. Oh, that'll work. Palmer's.
Wow.
So, Sean, how did you get into this wonderful, crazy disaster?
I read a book when I was a kid. That's how it started. You could tell I like to talk a lot. It's been that way since I was a child. And we were on a road trip, and I was driving my dad nuts. So he went into a roadside store or whatever and bought a book that happened to be Sasquatch, the Apes Among Us by John Green, which I'm convinced he bought the book for himself, but he's like, here, kid, read this. And I read that the entire vacation. I don't even remember the beach. I just remember that book. And, growing up, it's not like today, we're making fun of small town monsters and all these episodes that are coming out featuring guys like us, but we didn't have that growing up, right? We had like the occasional episode of Unsolved Mysteries, In Search of, Arthur C. Clarke Mysterious World. So it was really a much different world for enthusiasts back then. And so when I read that book and realized there was a chapter dedicated to what was happening in Pennsylvania in the 70s, which isn't, wasn't that long, removed from that time, it's like, holy crap, this is not just real and happening out in Washington and Oregon. It's here and on the East Coast. And that kind of got me, I guess, enthralled. And I went and stole every book from the library. Borrowed every book from the library. And I was just enthralled. And then when I got to be a little older, into my early teens, I just turned 40. So I've been doing this for 32 years now since I read that book, and it captivated me. And probably 27 years in the field or more, just going out and talking to people, meeting people on the internet, which you can't do now, folks. Different world, once again. Back in the day, you didn't have to worry about being molested on the internet. And so you went and talked to people like Henry Franzoni, who had the virtual internet Bigfoot conference. And I'm pretty sure, I was just talking to Cliff Barrickman not long ago, we probably met in that chat room probably, or that forum, God, in the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's been a long burn, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Even the minutes I haven't liked or have been uncomfortable, I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It beats bowling. And not everybody does it, and because it's becoming popular now, but it wasn't always popular. There was a time where you told people you did this, you were really made fun of and ostracized, and rocks were thrown at you and they made you eat worms and stuff. Now it's okay. You're the cool guy because you go out and do this stuff. So it's a different time.
So
no doubt there. Hi,
I know
Sheree.
you. Hello. Yes, as Christy said, share, pass this along. Besides Pennsylvania, where have you gone chasing this elusive creature?
New York, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio. Probably several more states along the East Coast. I stay regional, Mike. We could go anywhere we want to, but why when we have it here? And I don't know. We have experts. We have people searching those areas. I want to be home where it's at, an area that if something happens, I can deploy to quickly. So, even still, the areas these things are happening are usually about an hour to 3 hours out of our way to get to. Anyhow, it's not like these sightings or encounters always happen in our backyard, but I'd just like to be able to be in a place where I can respond to quickly. I would like to go check out these areas on if you had to call it a bucket list, but we don't have to go that far, man. As we talk about in these documentaries and stuff, it's here.
Yeah. You told me one time, meet me 2 hours when we figured out from the house, and then it was an hour up a hill.
That's Matt.
In the middle of nowhere.
He's Matt. Well, hell no, you're not pinning that on me.
No. I love Matt. And Matt is one of my best friends and research partners. But that man, for as much as he likes maps, can't read scale for the life of him. And in my book,
and that's when I get calls.
There's going to be a whole chapter dedicated to the death march he put those poor fat people on and almost killed them all. I was one of those fat people, but I'm an athletic fat. Okay.
I think I missed that story.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a good story. It's in the book. It'll be in the book. I'm going to Smokey Crabtree. There's Matt now.
Timing is everything.
Hey, now.
Oh my God.
Now, Matt is going to blame Dustin. Okay, who's another one of our compatriots. He's going to blame Dustin and say, neither one of them could read the damn scale of the map, okay? And
Don't worry.
You're going to take that?
When you...
And one of those little, 1 inch, half inch, this is now a mile, turned into a death march for a bunch of large and somewhat physically disabled people. But you know what? Every one of them made it, and they were better people because of it. They had no choice. It was either make it forward or lay there and die, because that was the only options.
Oh my God.
I warned you.
They all lived.
Well, you know what?
We weren't indicted.
I can kind of relate to that because, you know, I was once, although I didn't have to walk it, I was stuck in a Jeep with this one for how many hours was that again? To find the elusive moose we never find. Oh yeah, that's another beautiful story that, yeah.
Oh,
so I
wow.
kind of get it. This wild moose chase instead of the wild Bigfoot chase.
That actually there
I'm
we
trying
go.
to justify it now.
No, that actually makes it in the High Peaks episode talking about driving around the Adirondack for down a road for 2 hours, and the only thing we saw was a squirrel. Well,
Matt and I stumbled upon elk by accident. And so when you hear folks, and this is a real life scenario. So when you have folks say they're driving by the road and they just catch this glimpse of this large hairy figure and they have no idea what it was, and it startles them. Matt and I are driving down a mountain road we traverse all the time, and we're sitting there shooting the shit, and then right out of my peripheral I see this really large hair covered creature. I'm like, what the hell is this? Stop. And he backs up, and there's like 7 elk just standing there alongside the road that we just drove past like it was a regular Tuesday. Cool. And they're just standing there minding their own business. And so that's a perfect example of, you know, not really being in tune with your environment, out there doing what you're trying to do. And, you know, you stumbled upon something that, you know, you completely missed and that could have been there the entire time. And it just a perfect example of that. Maybe I didn't articulate that well, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, it's just like when my ex used to go deer hunting, and you know, I'm like, honey, I'm sure they were probably never there, when the whole time I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you jackass, they probably were blending right in
the whole time. Right. They were there the whole time.
No. Well, I mean, not to give your area away at all, but I mean, if you look at that STM production you guys did, you know, and I'm still angry because I have drone footage that's locked on the drone that I cannot get off. It won't, you know,
throwing shade. Look at that.
It's in the internal memory. Like I can look at it. I just can't pull it. But I mean, Alex has got some great drone footage from that area, and you just would not believe what you guys have there in central Pennsylvania. And then
Mike, what people don't believe is that while we're doing those talking head interviews with Alex, they don't realize that chair is propped up.
Oh, you were going to go.
If one of us went ass over tea kettle backwards, we would have went down the mountainside and died. Like nobody understands that, but the people that were there, like we're doing this great interview and we're having these real moments and these great, you know, prolific conversations, with the whole audience, not realizing that there's maybe a foot of ground behind us that's kind of slanted down, and then it's a drop to your demise. Like,
and whose great idea was that?
Oh, Alex is probably. I don't know. I think that was this.
No,
Alex, I love you, but dude, really?
I think that was Matt's idea to film right there at that spot.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't even really pay attention to it when you're into it talking, but when you're watching these interviews and then you realize the geography upon where you're sitting, you're like, I was close to death and didn't even realize it there.
Yeah,
close to death every day, but hey.
One strong fart and it could have been the end of the world for somebody. Like down the mountain you go.
And knowing some of the people in the crowd you were with, I can believe that.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the gassy ones. You know, Baker wasn't there. Henry wasn't there, you know.
And that's, you know, that's a good point. You have a hell of a team with your co-hosts as well.
They're good guys. We bust each other, Mike, a lot, but they're a good group of guys. Some weeks we could be better. I think when you've talked about the topic as long as we have, and I hate to say it, sometimes it feels like you're beating a dead horse, but every so often you get a real good kick on it and it comes to life a little bit. Man, I don't condone animal abuse. Please don't go out and start kicking horses. But it's just one of these things. Like that we could still talk about this for over 20 years and still pull something new out of it or still have fun while doing it. That's special. And, you know, after a while when it's not going to be that fun anymore, maybe we'll hang it up. But again, though, when you look at this whole spectrum of the show for 20 years and all the things that have happened, it's really slowed down now. I think in terms of Bigfoot video, what have we really had, Mike, since Nothing, really, nothing incredible.
Mm.
And even groundbreaking track casts, foot finds, nothing. It's been really dry. And something's got to happen at some point, right? And I think, people like Darby Orchid and the study, and, unfortunately, we just lost Dr. Meldrum, and so we have to have another academic pick this up and run with the ball. Right now, we're in a drought, and we need us as a research community to really step it up and get out there and find some evidence, because we have to do something different. I mean, going on 60 years of research, and we could say we have a lot to show for it. We have a lot of potential, but very little that could, really build a case on. So we got to do better. And I know we're trying to, and sometimes that's a crapshoot, but I think Mike and Christy, we're starting to figure it out that the answer is not going to come from one person or two people. It's going to come from a collective of people. And when you start that strength-based team building of leveraging each other for what you're really good at and taking the ego out of it and really looking at this as a science-based thing, like, I don't give a flying who gets this discovery at this point. I really don't. All I care is that I'm just a little footnote in this story, and I've been out there and I've been helping and I've been doing my part in this research, and we're documenting what we can. We're finding what we can, but we're keeping the conversation going so that hopefully somebody one day with a bigger brain than I have or more resources than we have can jump on this and say, hey, let's go. You know what? We've got the money. We've got the resources. Come on, guys, let's go do this together. That's what we're really hoping for at this point, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and as Bill says, yep, it's going to take more than one. I mean, it's going to be, it's going to take Goosebumps Paranormal Society. It's going to be the tricks.
There.
Yeah,
he's got some special trick shots there that will help get us a Bigfoot inebriated, and then we're going to put him on camera.
We'll definitely have to gimbal Jimmy.
Gimbal Jimmy. Well, I love that. I love the tricks. Great people.
Let's go, Forker.
Oh,
Come on.
All I have.
Shit.
Every week I do this now. This thing's not static. It hits. I knock my headphones over.
I love this. This camera's zooming in and out.
Now it does the zooming, right? The damn thing doesn't work all night, and now I hit my face, and it's like, oh, let's do that again.
This might be our first outtake reel.
Seriously,
they have a lot of them. Will you stop that? I can't stand this thing now. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. God, it's got a wide ass angle lens. I don't need any more of this out here. Okay, and it does it again. Oh, for the love of Pete.
Oh, this is great.
I was going to say how much I love Jimmy and Diane Trick. I really do. And I want them to know that my anger is not coming out towards them. It's to this damn camera and microphone. But they are such great people. And if you haven't had them on, you got to have them on because they're so much fun.
Yes.
Oh, my God. It is so much fun.
Still waiting to meet the Tricks in person. Actually, the Tricks and Max. And I haven't met Alex, huh? He wasn't at the wait. No, I did. Yeah. No, he wasn't at the one premiere.
Oh, at the White Hall you went to.
Yeah.
No, Alex was at the premiere of the Journey.
Oh, that's right. So I met him there, but it's been a long time. So, but the Tricks, there's somebody else too. Matt in person, Central Bigfoot. Yes. Or what is he called now? What is he called since he moved?
Central Kentucky Bigfoot.
It is. Okay, there you go. Bigfoot. I don't know where he is. He's usually on right now anyway.
Where the hell is Lars?
See, Diane is speaking my language right now. All right, Diane. What's haunted? Let's do this. Come on. This is my neck of the woods, so to speak.
You should talk about my microphone or my camera.
Oh, the camera. There you go.
Could be haunted.
Yes.
Now, I've got a question from the audience from Mr. Matt Powers.
Oh,
Sean, what do you think that it is you're looking for? Boy, I can't talk tonight.
Something anthropologically
footnote because I'm
related to my. Welcome to the club. Something that's anthropomorphically related to my mother-in-law. That's what I think. No, I love my mother-in-law. No, she's great. I don't know. I everything in my gut tells me this is some sort of undocumented primate, and I know that pisses people off sometimes because. But here's the thing: we don't know anything. We like to think we do. Obviously, this is a thing that leaves footprints. It craps. It makes noise. It does other things. It's a physical presence at somewhere along the line of its manifestation, right? If it's something else, I have no clue what that would be, but I'm comfortable in what I know so far to say it's some sort of undocumented primate. I don't think it's Gigantopithecus. I think it's something, and when you look at, the tree of life, the tree of hominids, hominoids, whatever you want to call it, the geeks out there will correct me later. That's a wide tree with a lot of missing spaces on it. And there's new stuff popping up on it all the time. We get out there and start digging. We start finding bones that we hadn't identified before. We're starting to realize now that we've shared this planet with other upright primates, for a closer period of time than we thought we have. So those are all unique things that are starting to pop up, and things we hadn't really, I don't want to say we hadn't considered before, we haven't had proof of before. So scientifically, there's a lot going on with it, but then you can't dispel what people are experiencing, right? And Mike, and Christy, I'm sure you've heard there are people out there that have some weird ass encounters with what they think could be a Bigfoot. Now, whether that's something happening in their own mind or something physically, something happening, we don't know. All we can do is document it, catalog it, and go on. If I had the answers, I wouldn't be here doing this show. I'd be doing National Geographic, right? But
wow.
Listen, that wasn't a slam on you. I'm just saying I wouldn't need podcasts anymore. I wouldn't need that shit. I'd be doing like Fox News,
finds these people?
CNN.
Who finds these people?
I'd be doing this shit. I'd be like Letterman, not Letterman anymore. Who's those other morons now?
Honey, I'm on board with you. I'm the same. I would feel the exact same way. Okay.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be doing these. Like I would no.
I just wouldn't forget my friends, like some other people. That's all.
I probably would, because I enjoy these people much more than the uptight, snooty ones. Even though I'm getting accused of that a lot. I get accused of that a lot, that I'm one of these flesh and blood. They called me an aper, which I don't appreciate, by the way. I don't like that term aper at all. And if someone calls me that, I may punch them. I don't like that. That's too close to something else, and it's just a derogatory slur. I don't like that. Let's not call us apers. How about we call us, scientists, people that believe in something physical.
Researchers.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I kind of go between research and investigator, Christy, because I end up doing a lot more following up on sightings than I do. Like, I guess I don't know anymore. That path has crossed for me. I used to be just exclusively investigating. Like I would go and follow up on reports, and then that would lead to the research. But now I think that has flipped, and I do a lot more of the research than the investigating. Which
to me, I guess it's all kind of like rolled into one.
Right.
You
delineate the two, right? Because when you're actively investigating, you're on a case. Mike, you know that from like a law enforcement perspective, right? You got a case, you're investigating this, as opposed to I'm going to go throw something on a map and I'm going to go research that area.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, unfortunately, we find it with the paranormal. We find it with Bigfoot, with all the TV shows. We do end up finding folks that just want to be in front of a camera. Yes.
Right.
Yes, you and I and a couple of our friends are in front of cameras that our friends are doing, but I don't even think about it when we're out there with those guys from SDM. It's because we're out there with friends in the woods.
Right.
Even though there's a camera,
we're
documenting
we're
we're documenting with the camera, but I never think about it, like you said, we do. Who's going on a crazy hike? Matt may take us on a crazy hike, or Alex may take us off a cliff somewhere just because it's another short hike, and we're chasing Chewy down the hill or something like that, but
Chewy.
It always rains when those guys are around. Actually, have you seen the new Chewy videos? I mean, he's got some new good lip syncing rock, he's doing covers now, But I don't. Yes, we're on those, but that's more. I think our friends being out there together, and we're just kind of documenting that journey.
I'm glad you said that.
Not looking for the buck.
I'm glad you say that, because first of all, I don't get paid to do that shit. I do it because they are our friends, and because I care about the phenomena, and I do want it put in a good light. I think that when we're out there doing that stuff, the research is going on. The cameras happen to be there. I think the last one we did, investigation Bigfoot, the one that I was in, in the Alleghenies that I did, that was difficult for me because we were going back to the place I had my encounter, which, by the way, I botched telling my own encounter because I was more nervous that there were cameras running than I was thinking about, because that was a very personal experience for me. It really shook my foundation, almost made me quit this. And having to recount that on video was a little, throwing you off your game, especially when you're there with some folks that happen to be sharing that experience with you at the time. And then you're kind of reliving it and talking about it. But then just doing this with your friends and trying to put out a production that's kind of giving you insight into our thought process, not us in front of a camera. Like, I could care less if it was me or someone. I really do. If we were that worried about being on camera, we would have done more a lot sooner. Like, I haven't whored myself out because I don't want to. I like doing it with our friends. Is just like having a fun weekend, that the camera just happens to be ancillary, but it's documenting what we're doing. And Small Town Monsters is storytelling, and they're telling our story of the things we're actually doing out there. So I think it's like it's like a documentary, but it's not a documentary. I guess it's no dramatization. It's just getting the story as it's unfolding.
So I am unfamiliar with your encounter. Is that something you talk about and share?
I talk about it. I do. It's a long story, so I could try to give the Cliff Notes version because we could be here for days. But in 2012, we were up in an area in Clearfield County, and Clearfield County was chosen because it's had a lot of sightings over the years, probably 100 sightings or more up in northwestern Pennsylvania, north central, really. It's kind of in that middle part of the state. I hit the damn microphone again. And my buddy Ray, my buddy Dustin, Eric Altman from the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society, Dave Rupert, Ryan Cavaline, we all went out earlier that weekend because we were going to have a weekend out there. And we went out to set up some cameras, game cameras, and Ray and Dustin and myself were going to stay out there all weekend and kind of a small group, see if we could elicit anything because we're such a small group of guys just trying to blend in to the, environment. And we're sitting there the first night alongside the campfire, and there's three of us. We're kind of triangulated in how we're setting. My back is to the woods, and I'm facing the fire, but I still kind of have the woods in my periphery. Ray's back is completely to everything, just facing the fire. And then Dustin was off to my left, and he had a full view of what was going on in the meadow we were at, facing the wood line. And something ran through my peripheral, through the edge of the forest from one entry point into the woods. And I saw it, and I jumped up. I saw Dustin jump up at the same time, and he and I ran over to the edge of the woods where we could hear something still taking off through the woods. Sounded very heavy, but this thing moved so quickly. I've never seen anything move like this before in my life. And it moved like, I swear to people, it moved like a sloth. It glided so quick and so gracefully. Have you ever seen something that you just know is meant for its environment? And that's what this moved like. It wasn't big and bulky. It looked like just like a larger NBA player, and it was kind of lighter in color. And so we're standing there like, what the hell did this just happen? And we're kind of already doubting ourselves. Are we buying into our own bullshit because we're out here for this purpose? Right. Or, so we get ourselves calmed down. We take the logs off the fire. We go into the tent, and we're lying in there because we're going to get up really early in the morning at this point, probably like 4 or 5 o'clock, so we could get out and start doing some investigating, because that's a good time in this area, because that's when a lot of sightings start to happen. So we go in there, we're lying in the tent, And we're in there, and after a while, you start hearing these footfalls going around the campsite. And they're definitely bipedal. You could tell the difference between something walking on 2 feet and something walking on 4. There's a cadence to it. You can tell the difference. And we're lying there, and I see the light of Dustin's cell phone come on in his sleeping bag. And I'm like, Dustin? He goes, yeah. I'm like, do you hear this? He goes, yeah, I hear it. Ray's sleeping. Ray is like a stone. Through 3/4 of this thing, Ray is like a stone. And we're lying there, and all of a sudden, we start seeing this faint orangish glow outside our tent. So Dustin gets up, opens the tent, jumps out, and I'm putting my boots on to get out, and he yells, Forker, throw me my gun. Well, me being the epitome of gun safety, I throw him his gun. And as I go to get out of the tent, I notice, one, the fire's going again. So something had moved the logs back onto the fire. And as I go to get out of the tent, I can see this thing run up the little hillside by our campsite. And then you can hear this thing truck around like a bat out of hell going around our campsite. Well, I'm freaked out. I don't have a lot of cell phone service, so I run to the center of this meadow that we're camping in. And I called Dave Rupert because I thought maybe Dave is still close enough by that he could come back out if something was going on. Couldn't get Dave. So I called Dave's wife, Carrie, thinking maybe because Dave didn't live that far away. And she's like, no, Dave's not home yet. I'll see if I can get a hold of him. Now, Carrie is a lovely woman. She's an investigator herself. She'd tell you to this day something was really bothering me because I did not want to be there anymore. I don't know what the feeling was.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was in danger, but I definitely felt creeped out. It was like, this is not normal. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we finally get a hold of Dave. Dave's like, if you guys can hang out there, we'll come back. Right. We'll come back and we'll hang out there with you. So we're there about 25, 35 minutes. And we start seeing these flashlights coming down the path. And they get there, and Dave and Ryan have come back and like telling, hey, we told him what was going on. And Dave could sell ice to an Eskimo. He can get you to believe in yourself like nobody's business and get confident. And so he builds us back up. Come on, guys, we're out here for a reason. This is part of what we're doing. We'll hang out here for a little bit. So we go back into the tent and hang out. He and Ryan go kind of bivouac themselves in like this canopy of little bush trees they made there. And they're there for, a little while. And nothing's going on. So they finally radio into us, hey, guys, we think whatever happened, it's done. We're going to leave. And we'll see you in the morning. We're like, okay, we'll stay out here. If we die, whatever. No, I didn't say that part. But so they go away. And we're there lying around. And about 35, 40 minutes later, and here comes the footprints again. Or the footsteps again. This time, we all jump out of the tent like the Kool-Aid man. I don't even think we unzipped it. I think we just went through the side. And we're like, what the hell's going on here? Like, and if you look out into the tree line, you could kind of see something going, kind of feeling us out, looking at us. Now, at this point, I'm thinking this is a person. So I'm like, hey, we have a firearm. Identify yourself, or we're just going to shoot you. Okay, we're not pissing around with you anymore. We're just going to shoot you. And I said, Dustin, shoot it. And Dustin's like, Dustin's law enforcement and he's military. He's like, I can't shoot it. And I'm like, well, I'll shoot it. And he wouldn't shoot it. And, but we're given all these verbal cues to this thing like, hey, we're going to shoot you if you don't get out here. And it didn't respond to that at all. That really bothered me because now we either have a psychopath like the hills have eyes bullshit going on, or we have something out here. So Ray, who's the size of a Bigfoot himself, I was like, let's charge this thing and see what happens. So we mustered all the freaking courage we had, and we charged this thing. And thank God, whatever it was, took off like a bat out of hell down the woods. And then what was interesting is there's like years later when I went back, because I didn't go back to that spot for a while. There's that meadow, and then off the side of that meadow where that thing was standing, which was probably what we thought might have like eye level to us, it was a 2 to 3 foot drop off there. So whatever was standing there was tall enough to be at eye level with me. And I'm 7 foot tall myself. No, I'm kidding. So I'm 5'6" with a good pair of shoes. So it was at my eye level, right? And so like that scared the shit out of us. It started raining. We threw everything we could into a Rubbermaid tote and we hauled ass out of there. And I called Eric and them and said, listen, we had some shit happen out here tonight. I'm not comfortable at all. I didn't like the feeling I got. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I think I'm done. Like, I think I got all the proof I need. But what was interesting is when we went back in that tent, there was a flash of light. And I was like, oh, great. You know, I could tell Dave that because that means the game camera activated. So I'm talking to Dave that next day after we left. We went home on a Saturday. I talked to him on a Sunday. And I said, Dave, if you guys get back there, check the game cams because the flash on one of those cameras went off. You might have got something. He goes, Sean, those cameras didn't have flashes. So I don't know what the hell that flash of light was. And this is a phenomena I can't quantify because the next time we went out there, I went out there with Brian and Terry Seach, the Seaches, big investigators of Pennsylvania, Dave and his wife, and a few others. And we experienced that singular flash of light again out in that same area. I can't tell you what it is. I have not experienced that every time I've gone out there, but that time I had my sighting, and that night I went out there with them again, which was probably in 2000. Matt says 2014. I think it was 2016 that we went back out there. And so there was years between when I had my encounter and when we went back, before I would go back to that spot. And yeah, I mean, it messed me up. I wanted to give up Bigfooting and everything. And I know now recounting it, it doesn't sound like dramatic, but when you're living it and experiencing it, it is a very, I don't want to be dramatic and say traumatic, but it kind of was traumatic. But now what that taught me was empathy. And when you're talking to somebody who's had an experience with something they can't explain, you can kind of go root yourself in those feelings that you had and you get it.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to be a BS detector too, because a lot of people that have had an experience, something they can't explain, they hold on to that. And it's almost like you bond over that shared trauma. And the people that are bullshitting, you know, don't have that. They don't have that. I don't know. I don't want to call it a fear factor, but it's something. There's an intangible thing there that folks that really haven't experienced it don't have.
Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty amazing.
Oh.
Because you didn't just have one quick 5-second sighting. You had multiple experiences over a period of time.
Right. And that's what bothered me
like an actual
about
interaction.
It. Right. And that's what bothered me. The fact is it kept coming back. It wasn't scared by us. It put the logs back on the fire, which shows some intelligence, right? Obviously, this thing probably saw us make the fire. And so
not to mention the logs had to have been really hot.
Right. Well, you know, it had been about 45 minutes to an hour, so it might have cooled down enough. But still, to your point, like, you know, if it was a person, you'd think, oh, wow, this was just on, you know, fire. Maybe it would be warm. Right. But there was not a lot of, I don't recall a single vocalization from this thing at all. At all. Really? All I remember is the feeling of it being there. And this, I don't want to say dread. It was just an odd feeling, like something you didn't want to mess with, if that makes any sense. Not like, like you don't belong here, get out of here, or you know, just get out. You don't belong here.
Oh yeah, you're talking to someone who deals with spiritual energy. I get it. I get it 100%. Oh yeah.
You know, to follow up on the fire there, I mean, from listening to folks over the years, you know, I haven't had any experience myself, and you and I have talked, you know, walking in the woods and stuff,
right?
And I think it's never really crossed in my head is, do you think you had activity going on? Were you guys cooking on the fire at all, or we just had the fire going? So it was more the activity around the heat in the fire. So, you know, like Steve always talks about the activity, you know, like.
Agreed.
You guys went to bed, you turned the TV off or something like that. Yeah. You know, it was the you know, we grew up in the 80s, you know, you know, it's midnight, TV's off, you know, it's 10 o'clock to your kids home, you know.
Yeah.
So you make your point though, Mike, you make is interesting because one of the things I've noticed is It's the people that are doing general everyday things that get the activity, not us that go out there acting like half-assed commandos. It's the people that are just doing everything. Because when we were sitting out around the campfire there talking, we were just shooting the shit. We weren't call blasting. We were just having a good time.
Well, and that's when the very first night that they took me out, the very first night they left me as bait in the middle of this big, huge ass open field where I was looking around going, did everybody go? And then I put on YouTube and then they're all like doing their thing. And I'm going, oh, okay, they're alive. And then eventually you hear someone go, oh, we left Christy back there. You know what? Screw all of you. Are you kidding me? 45 minutes later, I'm still sitting in this dark area now that's huge. But I think the one thing that I am definitely noticing with everybody is that everyone talks about feeling and energy. You don't feel like you belong there. You felt like something was off. You felt like something was wrong. Well, if you think about it, with our auras and our energy, we are like huge energy bubbles, right? And we are always crossing, like those stupid math problems we used to do where the two bubbles have to cross and you have to figure out what the hell that little space is in between. But that's what it is. So that is the one thing with the spiritual, is the woo-woo stuff, as everybody likes to call it, which I think is ridiculous. But yeah, so the spiritual stuff, and then with the Bigfoot stuff, if these things really are flesh and blood, then that's going to make sense, because they are still living, breathing things, excuse me, that have energy, and it's going to read our energy. We are going to read it. So, you know, having it be drawn to everyday things, your energy is calmer. Even though your energy and your vibration may be raised, if you are doing certain things, it can be chaotic and it can also be missed. But like the first time we went out, it was at the very end of the night. What was it, like 3:00 in the morning, almost, something like that? We were sitting in we weren't even out in that huge field in the middle of the woods. We were down in a parking area sitting in chairs. And then we heard it out of nowhere. It was like, did you ever hear Barbara Streisand? How she can hit a note and she can just keep it going. It was like that, but it was like crescendoed. It was like, I know my eyes were popping out of their sockets. I was like, what the f is that? Are you kidding me right now? And it was insane. It was insane. And you're right. There's a feeling that goes with it, because you're like, that did not fit or sit with anything that I am familiar with or that I can identify with. It was cool, but it was off-putting. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that night had the gibbon going. We've got a couple of questions in here, which, folks, I'll kind of circle back to those questions in a second, and because I don't want to miss them, because there's some really good points, I think, that'll kind of draw some stuff out for the folks that are new to this topic. But that location, again, the county you were in was Clarion, you said?
Clearfield County.
Okay. So that's, if I looked at that map correct, it's like directly south of where I'm at. Where is that? Crawford, Clarion, Clearfield. Where?
It's right south of
there. It's directly below me. Yep. So that kind of brings up Jen's question. Did you get a chance to take a look at the face? Did you get to see the face or what was there, or the body, the full body shape? No. Okay.
No. And that's regrettable, because I really wish I maybe I'd have felt a little better if I could see its face, but I couldn't. And I only got reflectiveness from the eyes. I couldn't see pupils or anything else. It was just like, I don't want to say they were self-illuminating. It was like reflective, you know what I mean? Like a reflective light. And for something impactful as it was, I wish it would have been more in terms of being able to pull that detail out that you want. Because like I said, maybe it would have been a little different, would have been a different outcome. I don't know.
But it's almost scarier when you can't actually figure out what it is. It's just
can't make the connection at all.
The peripheral or something like that.
Right. Yeah. It's just a shape.
Right.
But that just kind of puts it, that location or that county puts it directly below Joe Schneider's account. So I guess that's why Jen was asking, and I know some of the some of the folks in the chat, Bill,
Mike, it's
Max,
only a stone's throw, about 20 miles from the Allegheny National Forest, where a lot of the other activities that have happened. And it's a hot spot. I mean, when you go back and look for years, there's probably 100 or more sightings that have happened in Clearfield County alone. And it's kind of it's not a well-populated county outside the cities. It's got a lot of wilderness, and it just flows up into the Allegheny National Forest and upstate New York, into that lower area. Oh, there's activity there. I don't have any doubts about that. We picked that area because of the activity the reports and sightings we had. And in the beginning of 2012, on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we had a double witness sighting of two witnesses 45 minutes apart from each other that had a sighting on the same road of what we thought was probably the same creature. And that's what kind of kicked off the reinvigoration for us to explore Clearfield County some more. And then that county's not really stopped. Throughout the years, it's been full of Bigfoot sightings. So there's activity there. We picked it. What we didn't expect was to have activity of our own. I think you always go out there with that skepticism, like, nothing's going to happen, but we're just going to go out there and have fun anyhow. Because honest to God, I tell people for over the 20, 30 years I've done the field investigation work, on one hand, I could probably tell you the experiences I've had that have made me go, that was interesting. And that's that wouldn't be a good TV show, folks. That'd be one boring ass TV show, because a lot doesn't happen. You go out there and most of the time it's Sean and Mike and Matt talking about what we're going to eat next, where we're going to go, farting and all that other kind of stuff. It's not as exciting as TV makes it out to be, but we have a hell of a lot of fun doing it.
That's awesome.
Great.
Well, it's kind of like that. Isn't there a recording, Michael, of you and one of your buddies snoring all night long?
Yeah.
Trip you took, what was it, Aaron you went with, or who was it?
Aaron Phillips from Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, that's
6 hours and something just pinging off the side of the tin shack that we're in the middle of the Everglades.
Gotta love it.
I mean, that was a freaky night, but like, he starts to snore, I start to snore. I mean, it's the same thing we get out with, Larson or Alex. And if you put the three of our car, we end up, why you guys sleep in your cars? Not tents, so people can actually record, so you're not hearing us snoring 24/7. The recorders are put down away from the car, so you can, like, oh, would you like that? Yeah, I love to be in the tent, but if you're trying to record something, it's like having that cicada that decides it's time to sit right next to that microphone. So let's see here. So kind of go on the lights thing, and the kind of, for the Alleghenies too, is that Amy Boo's in there. There's a lot of investigators that are in and out of that area, and even like you said, you go to your spiritual end of what is gone on and how some of the waters have dammed more towards the New York side by the federal government to make the reservoirs and everything. It's an interesting area, but that really kind of ties itself into the Chestnut Ridge, does it not? And going down towards.
I'm sure.
But are we thinking you're further east than you are west, I guess, at that point?
Well, I guess it all depends, because they do. I think the mountain ranges do run into each other, but you got the Laurel Highlands, which the Chestnut Ridge is part of, and then that runs up Pennsylvania up into the northern kind of western central part of the state. So I'm sure. I mean, it's probably all connective, Mike. Right. And it's. Over the years, I think we've explored a lot of things, ley lines and so on and so forth. But I believe that, there's so much we don't understand. And when we try to wrap it up and just condense it into one thing, I don't think we do the mystery justice. I mean, that's not scientific Forker speaking. Scientific Forker is like a damn a primate, nothing. But I'm also a realist, and I know there's more to this that people are experiencing, right? We can't throw that out. And I'm not trying to be a politician and play to both sides. I'm just trying to get people to understand there are two sides to this mystery. And so does it hurt to explore those things, those metaphysical, paranormal aspects of it while we're investigating the flesh and blood? I don't think so. Science is collecting all that data, categorizing it, testing it, repeat. You know what I mean? I think it's unscientific to do so. To throw that stuff out is very unscientific. I just think we have to be careful with not allowing our bias to either amplify it or reduce it based upon what our own personal beliefs are. Like if we could find some way that we could collect it with, because I find that it's just like a lot of things. People get, tribal and they play to their extremes, right? There's people that 100%, this is a metaphysical, dimensional, interdimensional being. And then there's people that there's no doubt about my mind that this is a flesh and blood creature. I lean that way. It doesn't mean if the evidence pointed it, I would dispel it. There's that point there, Mike. We have to be that balance point in the fulcrum.
And I guess, that's the thing is that, Eric has asked, is it possible that it was an elemental for those that are on the spiritual end, which kind of goes to, at Max asking, would it possibly be a tulpa where all the people out putting their intention in there?
Well, and we've talked about that before. Lon Strickler's, I've talked about a long time about my sighting. Did we project it because we wanted it? Right. And has that happened? Does it have to be a trick of the mind, or can it be a manifestation of the mind? Like, I don't know. And that starts leading you into some pretty creepy, deepy psychological things, right? Is it a psychological thing, or is it a metaphysical, paranormal thing? Who knows? This is why we need that larger pool of people to be in this topic and explore it unbiasedly.
Wow. And I guess that feeds perfect to Micah's thing. What about all the YouTube videos catching very weird beings, scaring the bejesus out of people who stumble upon it? Well, there are scary things, and then there is clickbait. And
right.
with AI the way it is right now, I've spent the last, couple of days working on redoing thumbnails and everything here. And okay, I'm going to walk into Canva of all things and feed something into it and let it spit something out for me, and okay, yeah, I describe this, and these softwares that are out there now will build things, and it's absolutely amazing, except we can go back to Chewy singing, a Journey song or something like that, and you watch a German Shepherd, do something like that.
I think AI is good. It's just not that great yet. Like, it's pretty convincing, but there's always a tell. Yeah. Right. There's always a tell to it. And also it goes to that old adage, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Right.
Right. And you have to trust your gut. And I think that gut comes from experience, and that comes from that, there is that part of, Christy, I'm trying to find a word here for it. You were just talking about it, kind of that feeling that, your gut intuition. That's right. That's the word. And it usually doesn't always lead you astray, right? It can be pretty solid if you can rely on both your experience and your intuition. But then again, you have those points where they intersect and they don't always align. Then what do you do? And I think it's just, Max asked there in the chat again, Mike, how do you investigate both? You can do it if you don't have that bias. And that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. But if you're a true scientist, you have to catalog and document everything. Then the more you document, the more the story unfolds. You just have to be willing to document it. If you're going in there with a bias and you're like, well, that's just bullshit, I'm not going to document it. That has nothing to do with it. You don't know. I can also tell you that for 20 years, this unexplained light phenomena may not be connected, but I've experienced it. Am I going to notate it? Absolutely. You're damn right I am, because it would be unscientific not to.
Yeah, and I guess that, that goes the trackway, any experiences, yellow, blue, or green lights, the small ones, not, flashlight size, and are you seeing that, or have you experienced that? I have video with Altman and Coles at the Ridge,
I was with Rick Chirby, his wife, and Eric Altman and Tom Mihawk down on the Chestnut Ridge. And we're standing there talking, and then for no reason of their own, there is a non-localized light phenomena moving itself through the trees. It's not a bug. I can't explain what it is, but it's moving itself around. It's what I did to my hair there. It's crazy. I can't explain it. And we got it on video.
Pipeline? Was that on the pipeline? Our usual spot? Yeah,
absolutely. It was right there in the pipeline.
And again, is it natural gas? Is it something else? But you can't. It's so weird to try to explain that.
But you think if it was natural gas, we would be able to detect it with some sort of meter or some sort of detector. And maybe that's worth bringing out if nobody has yet taken it out there to see. But then, of course, if it was gas, you'd also probably detect some sort of odor, and that's absent. Right. They put that additive in natural gas so you don't blow yourself to oblivion. And that's absent out there. So I don't know. Wouldn't hurt to check, though, would it?
Right. No, it wouldn't. But like you're saying, we're seeing that physical where a lot of folks are saying, oh, I'm seeing an orb. And, well, would you see it on? I saw it on my iPhone or something like that. Well, were you staring at somebody else with another iPhone and you're picking up the sensors? I mean, you're a techie guy. I mean, it's how often do you see folks, catching their own cameras? Yeah.
Right. You're misidentifying what they're actually seeing. But then also, like when you could see it with your naked eye and then still get it on camera, that in itself is also different. And again, just taking it back to my research and my opinion, like at the end of the day, I think I'm a flesh and blood boy, but I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater and say that there's nothing to it. There could be, and I'm okay acknowledging that. I just want a little bit more proof, and we have to do that. That's not anybody else to bring me. If I want it, I'm going to go out and try to find it myself. If somebody can bring that to me later, that's great, or bring it to me in the process, that's great. But you can't be so locked into one position where you're willing to throw everything else away. It's not scientific. And I have a hard time, for some reason, getting people to understand that. If I speak any more stupid about it, I'd have to draw pictures. Like, it's not hard. Like, don't just document everything.
In that bill, that's what we're saying is that, that
the smell's added to it. Right.
Yeah. And again, I mean, when we look at Pennsylvania, I mean, you guys have coal and natural gas and fracking and all that wonderful stuff going on. But, I don't think there's any of the fracking in some of those spots that we've been to. I mean, that one place try to get gas or something. And I remember you guys were like, yeah, get up here. Yeah. 13 miles away, hour and a half away. It was easier for me to go back to New York from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
That's how secluded you are, folks. Check that episode out because you are just going to be dumbfounded. You got to go to the Pacific Northwest. You got to go to the Adirondacks.
No, you really don't.
It's just breathtaking. I mean, I sat there on the top of this ridge, just angry I had to go back to work.
That's the most frustrating part about people getting to understand Pennsylvania and New York. It's not Albany, it's not Buffalo, it's not New York City, it's not Harrisburg, it's not Pittsburgh, it's not Philadelphia. There's so much of these states that are beautiful wilderness that you don't understand how much of it's there till you get off your ass and go to those places. And when you're there, you're like, holy shit.
Right. It's like a whole different world.
We have
like you went to a whole different country
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And we've got a Grand Canyon right around the corner here with Letchworth. And where are they? They're about 2 hours north to south from each other. That Genesee River is going right from Pennsylvania into New York.
So there you have it. Like the habitat is there. You just have to get out and do it and investigate it and appreciate it for what it is. And listen, we have a lot of history in these woods and these places too. Like there's a lot more than just Bigfoot that happens in these wonderful, beautiful commonwealths and states. There's a lot to do. And do these things intersect? Like Christy said, what? It's like that math. Kids, math is important. You might not ever use it for anything besides paranormal investigating. Like Christy said, it's those circles and they connect and the geometry and algebraic formulations that come into play. It's that those intersections, special things happen. And we just got to pay attention to it. And we have to document it. Document everything.
And I think we got to all rounded out the questions that were in there. If I missed something, folks, just kind of put your comment back in there, because I think we've kind of brought things back on the orbs and everything like that. But I guess my question, you're friends with the Tricks and they're doing paranormal, and Eric's done some paranormal. Have you done some paranormal investigation in your time?
Oh, hell yeah. I used to do it quite a bit. And then I felt like once upon a time I caught an attachment, and I brought it home, and it took a while to get rid of it. And then I said, I'm not doing that anymore. And so I haven't really dabbled in that too much. But that was a young novice, stupid paranormal investigator at the time. I would do it again with the right group of people. I think you get the collective energy of the people you're with play a lot to do with that. Intention is everything. And so when you're pissing around with things you don't understand, sometimes in your own foolishness, you can cause more harm than good. And when I realized I didn't know half of what I thought I did, I stopped doing it and just went back to Bigfoot.
That is my biggest pet peeve ever. People just are like, oh, let's just go do this. Oh, let's just go do that.
You have no idea the forces.
Let me know how that works out for you.
Right. I know that sounds so melodramatic, but you have no idea the forces at play that you're
You have no idea the world of hurt you can bring upon yourself. And people used to, when we used to do tours at the Statler Hotel, when they started really taking off, Dan would bring in, we tried to have a medium for each group, which was great because, you really, to get the best experience, you really do want mediums and paranormal investigators to work together. But we work and function very differently. We answer to a different higher power and work with a different responsibility, sense of responsibility, and a different set of rules, basically. And excuse me, people don't get it. You could take a little piece of paper that you think is insignificant and something can be attached to that and bring it home, so they would go over the rules or the regulations and whatever, expectations. And then we would get up there and tell them, okay, now listen, respect and gratitude always. We don't care what you think the spirit did. We don't care what it is always respect. You can be firm if you have to be firm, but you need to understand that there is a balance here. And there is a certain way to do things and not do things, especially with the, somebody really wants my attention over there. And it was a flash of light that I just saw in my dark hallway, and I'm the only one home. Just putting it out there. So people are like, whoa, we didn't realize that, or wow, we didn't know that, or, they wanted to try to we would let them go and explore certain areas, but, people showing up drunk, not people trying to do things they shouldn't be doing in the middle of some people. We had people one time trying to do they brought their own little homemade Ouija board thing, and they kind of snuck off and went. We were like, oh, hell no. 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 You're going to be calling me in a week saying, please come get this thing out of my house.
What do you think the first mistake I made was, Christy? If you had to guess, what do you think the mistake I made was?
You probably joked around or told something it could come home with you.
I said it could touch me. Close. I said it could touch me.
How'd that work out for you?
It not the way I wanted it to, right?
I bet.
I made that mistake once. I'll never do it again. We had a medium in our group. I actually really respected her. Should have listened, and I didn't, because arrogance.
Oh.
And I tell you what, it was different. But I did used to do a lot more paranormal investigating. I don't do it now. I don't do UFOs, Mike. Christy, I don't know. There's too many people doing that right now, and it's too political, and it's a UFO, not a UAP. Just let me have my UFOs, and it'll be fine. But I just enjoy the real, I guess it's because it's more difficult. I guess the proof that requires to prove any kind of paranormal phenomena or Bigfoot is so hard compared to what people accept for UFOs.
Right. I just want to, Erica, the thing is, my opinion way back, used to be that also. Oh my God, Ouija boards, right? But Ouija board is a tool just like anything else. If you don't know what you're doing, then that's when you get yourself into trouble. It's no different than dowsing rods. It's no different than putting an app on your phone. It's no different than simply using yourself as a tool or an instrument and setting an intention and making a statement. So, people have said we didn't do anything. All we did was blah, blah. Mike and I went and did a residential one time, and this girl was like, she's like, I wasn't doing anything. We thought it was like the brother. The mom was totally convinced it was the brother, and these kids were teenagers. I ended up being drawn to her room, to the daughter's room, where, come to find out, we uncovered so much. This girl was so into, and actually I was physically there, Mike was not, right? But Mike was like, check this, check that, check this. We found a notebook of symbols that she had been drawing just to practice because she thought they were cool. I was like, holy fuck. Like, there's right? And then we found little sticky notes. What?
Occasional explicit language. Sorry.
Oh, I thought
Bite
Mike was
me,
possessed
okay?
for a second. I was like,
I know.
Gonna have
I was
to-
like, your
my
hearing aid's not
hands-
working, tap your hearing aid. But seriously, like, she ended up doing a bunch of random little things that intensified and added to the energy of what was already in the house, which was not a good thing. I mean, when you tell a person, say the Our Father for me, and they start to gag and they start to whatever, and it wasn't even the person you thought was going to happen to, that was fun. So you have no idea, but it's not, you can do it without even realizing you did it, right? You can call in something. So as long as you know what you're doing, but scrying boards are the same. It all comes down to your intention. It all comes down to, and let me tell you something. Spirit, these little spirits out here, they know if you don't know what you're doing, and they will, the wrong spirits, if they are not the nice ones, they will take advantage of that and use it against you. Even if I had a student one time years and years ago, say, she was somewhere, I forget, it was before I had known her and started working with her, and she should have known better. And she was at a house or a place where she knew it was haunted, or they were having an issue, we'll say. She was just like, in jest, oh, well, don't worry. Yeah, you can just come home with me. Oh, you bet your ass it followed her. You bet your ass. For weeks, it was giving her trouble. For weeks. Her cats were going nuts. She was sitting in her living room or her family room the one night, and she looked through her kitchen to her dining room, and all of a sudden saw this black, misty, viney stuff start coming through her wall and climbing up to the ceiling. That was it. She needed a cleansing. Like, it is not a joke. But I mean, that's all it took, was even something in jest, because that's all they need. And that was the intention. That was it. So try not to be afraid of things you don't understand or don't know. And it's okay if you don't know how to do it. But I was like that too at one point, and most of us were, until we learned. But yeah, and there's also a misconception that you have to actually be actively involved with the Ouija board in order to have something come through and attach or set its sights on you, and that's not the case either. But that goes for anything. Attachments can attach to in Top's grocery store. It can attach to in, a school. Like, you could be at a bar. It doesn't matter. So you just always have to be mindful. It really just, what was that?
There was some redneck around here who's rolling around his tractor or whatever.
Oh, okay. Because I heard. I was like, okay, I'm getting some confirmation. Look at that.
Welcome to Central Pennsylvania.
Hey, it just like reinforced the whole point I was trying to make. That's great. So,
Christy,
but don't be afraid of things.
My studio is in a probably 150-year-old former textile rubber factory. So,
so we need to go investigate. No,
you do. You need to come down here for a weekend.
Oh,
she's enjoying.
Oh, hang on. She did it. Put it back up there again. She's been taking notes. Do we need to put you on full screen? All right, we'll go back to it.
Did it freeze me? There we go.
Yeah.
I love when it freezes you in the
he shows up.
Oh, well, how nice of you to join us.
We manifested him. Hi.
we could have. We may have the Tulpa question, and we manifested a Matt.
Way to go, Max.
Ask and you shall receive.
Right? I certainly hope you and Becky were out doing something fun since you blew us off. Oh, and I'm so excited. You know why? Random side note. You know what I'm going to say because Mike didn't believe me last night. For all of you Rookie fans, you know the show The Rookie? It's on Monday night now. I don't have to worry about it on Tuesdays anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's a great show. I love The Rookie.
Talk about a hard stop, but it's a hard stop. It's like, okay, if we had a reading show, it was like 10 o'clock, hard stop.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
That's it.
Okay?
I don't need to be watching cop shows. I do have to answer a question on my
I
background.
know that's like me watching ghost shows.
So that is not a burned out. It is a Land Rover 100. It is not a burned out Land Rover. This young gentleman down in Chautauqua County had like 3 or 4 of them, and he was going to rebuild them. But that's an interesting location. We actually we got some pretty good sized tracks out of there. Coles and Pete Weimer and Stacy, and we had a couple other guys that were down there with us, and it was just very strange that location. But I tried to get my hands on that Land Rover too, because
I like how I'm moving my head to look around your head to look at your Land Rover. Like I'm like trying to look around you. Like, what the hell am I doing? After I'm doing it, I'm like, what the? Well, wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, and the camera's not focusing now, so we must have scared that bad boy up. That is not my burned up. Aaron, that is not my burned up.
Never said I was a smart Bigfoot researcher. All right.
That was not my burned up Land Rover. I miss my Land Rover.
Did you burn one up?
Yeah.
Insurance? I'm kidding. Don't answer that question.
Don't incriminate yourself.
Don't answer that question.
It was my baby. It was all paid off. I'm coming home Thanksgiving. I have the oil for things.
Needed a new car. Just torched it. You know.
No. I ended up with this little teeny tiny Juke. I had to sell my freaking Mazda RX-8. That was.
You like all those weird little cars, don't you, to drive around in? You guys had the what the hell did I have to drive in when I had my torn meniscus and I couldn't even
my Veloster.
The Veloster. It was like a bright royal blue. It was standard. I was like, what the hell are you guys thinking? It's like, it's for the dogs. It's for the dogs. And then I was like, okay, then why am I riding in it? Why are you picking me up in this thing?
Hey, that made it into an STM film because I had both.
Oh, it did. That's right.
I have 2 Jeeps. I have Joe's Jeep that goes tomorrow for a couple of some more body work tomorrow, but I had that and a black Jeep. That didn't work. So Coles and I ended up going chase Seth around in Vermont in this little teeny. It's like we could have driven my Veloster underneath Seth's Jeep. And, we both get out all tacked out, thermal can, night vision, and it was like a little clown car. The 2 of us jumping out of that thing.
Great blue car.
Ray had a Volkswagen Rabbit that we drove under an elk one night. I swear to God, we drove up in Clearfield. We drove under an elk to avoid it, and it was, I don't know how we did it, but those were 2 fat guys in a little car. Let me tell you, if it wasn't low enough to the ground, you put us in it, it was probably squealing, but we made it.
Wow.
Oh, Matt, tell Becky to get better.
What's wrong with Becky?
What's wrong with Becky? She's now wife's sick. Not that ice. Okay.
Oh. Oh, brother, Matt. Well, I hope Becky feels better. I hope she gets better.
Get well.
It's not too bad.
Becky, get well.
Yeah.
So,
girl.
What's the best evidence you've seen besides your own personal experience?
You know what?
I don't think it gets any better than that.
I don't know if I've seen anything that's the best evidence yet. I honestly don't. Because every time we get something, somebody, that's fake. Because everybody's like the Patterson Gimlin film, and here's the thing: I don't care if it's real or fake at this point. But I like the Freeman film. I always think there's something of the Freeman video, Mike, that's, there he goes. I just think there's something natural and about that. That's always one of my favorite pieces. But then again, you go back to so many people, and I'm talking people of professional caliber, not that that means anything more than anybody else's, but when you have somebody that's a judge, a doctor, a lawyer, somebody that's got a lot to stake professionally by coming out, members of law enforcement, and reporting these sightings, to me, that's a little bit stronger than, Bobby at the corner store. And I'm not knocking Bobby at the corner store, who might have had a great sighting. But when you have people that are willing to stake their professional credentials and credibility on it, that's something remarkable. And you have to take that for what it's, for its value. I think that's very valuable. And they can't all be lying, and it can't be all in all mass hysteria. I mean, it could be, but I doubt it. There's something to this. People are seeing something. What it is, that's for us to figure out. I'm beyond trying to prove to myself that this thing exists. I'm at this point trying to prove what it is exactly, so we can get to there. I'm convinced enough that this thing is real. I'm not trying to convince myself. I'm just trying to gather what we can to make a better case for it to the general public and the scientific community. Though sometimes I'm like, damn you, science, because you're not really scientific anyhow. You're so dogmatic, it's not funny.
And I mean, that's just it. You've been doing this doing interviews for a long time. I guess, how many of the besides Jeff, Dr. Meldrum, I mean, how many of the other scientists did you get to interview over the years?
Not a lot.
Or not a lot.
That weren't skeptics. North America is a dietary wasteland for a large mammal. Screw you. Bears do fine. I do fine. And I could probably do fine if there wasn't a Wegmans or a Kroger around. I mean, I'd be a little thinner, but I'm sure I'd do fine. Don't give me that crap. If you, scientifically speaking, there's enough caloric intake, there's enough wilderness, there's enough shelter that these things could live freely. And you know what? We don't think Bigfoot's a caveman. Let's not go to those caricatures. But when you talk about something that could navigate cave systems for shelter and underground highways, there are ways to traverse the countryside without being seen. And you know what? If you think that's not true, some of these convicts that have been getting out have been doing a pretty good job eluding law enforcement. And we've got fucking drones now, pardon my French. They've been doing okay. So, and they're humans. Humans are going to screw up pretty quickly. This is something that is a master of its environment. We're outgamed here. We have to think differently, and we have to start getting into these places that maybe some of us are just too afraid to go or just won't spatially fit, like caves. I'm not going in there, but somebody else can. I'll stand there and hold the rope.
No, and that's just it. That for you guys, there are the cave systems down there
Right.
are just crazy. And then we go into with Matt in the Kentucky and the Mammoth and the miles and miles, and how many different groups have gone and lived in those caves or used
And
them
that's
for
what we
shelter.
know.
Right.
That's the access we know. How do we know there aren't other entryways that we just haven't found? Not those like Godzilla, monster verse. What do they call that? Legacy of Monsters portal things. I'm just saying probably real entrances, natural entrances that we just can't find.
The best scene out of The Last Mohegans, where they go back and hide behind the waterfall. It's like, okay, I mean, that's not New York actually, but it's, North Carolina, and the waterfalls in North Carolina are just
Right.
crazy.
We got them here too. But again, what we know and what we don't know, we could fill a thimble with what we know, but we just got to try to think outside the box, think a little bit more freely, and maybe we'll find more things than we haven't thought of yet. I don't know all the answers. If I knew, we'd have it solved already. If we just got to, bring more people in, not kick them out when they don't fit our idea of what we're looking for, but stick around a little bit, feel them out, figure out what they're going to bring to the table, and let's see if we can get something from it.
I always say, a multidisciplinary approach is the best way of doing
Right.
it. You need a painter, you need a hairstylist, you need an artist. That's why the crazy crew that's in here in the chat tonight with Matt, and Max and Bill. I've been out with those guys. I've been out with you, and the backgrounds that you guys, you have something different. Micah, your question is, it's the Freeman footage,
Right?
Paul Freeman. Washington State, correct?
Yeah, Paul Freeman. I think it was a 92. It's often copyrighted as 95, but I think it was taken in 92.
Yeah,
I had to think about that.
He was a U.S. Forest Service worker, and he's got the old-fashioned VHS camera and stuff like that. So there's some good stuff there. I think Cliff's got some pretty good stuff tied to his website.
There's a good book out called The Freeman Files. I think it's out. You can get it on Cliff's website. It's a good book. I have a copy. And Freeman's always been kind of I don't want to say a hero, but somebody I followed. And he has a few marks on his record with things that he's done. But I think that as a whole, I think he put the time in, and he deserves to be listened to a lot more than he has. He's passed away now. Not much we can get from him personally unless we get out that Ouija board. But when you look at his body of work and you look at the different things, there's a story there. And
who needs a Ouija board? Excuse me. Hello.
Let's get Paul on here.
What am I, freaking chopped liver?
That's yet to be seen. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Listen, just because my thighs and my gut jiggle like that doesn't mean I made a chopped liver, okay?
Hey,
Thank you very much.
Let me tell you, I'm a jiggly boy. I choose food. I'm sorry.
And that's actually, you're talking about the Michael Freeman's book, right? That was about his dad, and that's right. Doug Highcheck. We had Doug on and stuff like that, but that's got like a lot of interesting QR codes that'll take you to like different things.
Right. And I got to interview Mike myself years ago on a show I did called the Nocturnal Journal. And when we had talked Mike and really got, when you're talking, somebody's talking about their dad and somebody who's well respected, you get a different side of that. You get the personal side of Paul Freeman as a father and a husband and a provider, not just a Bigfoot idol that we have. And it's different. And how much he respected his dad, I really think that added more credence to the feelings I had about Paul. That, yes, there's some allegations that he did some hoaxing, or maybe there's some downright proof, but that doesn't mean you throw everything out the man did. There was some good from that. And I don't know. I'm kind of torn about it, but I was always a believer that I think he got the real deal on that footage. I really do.
And then I think that's a question. Like you said, you've been doing this a long time, Sean, and there are folks that have had their sightings, have had their experiences. And do you think sometimes folks need to make stuff, I wouldn't say make stuff up, but believe or focus on things because they still feel like they need to be relevant in the field?
That's a good question. And, I always, and it's personal with me because I'm always cognizant of, when I'm telling my encounter, in your mind, you're like, oh my God, are you going to forget something? You're going to misplace something up. Someone's going to think you're lying. What happened to the guys on Sasquatch Chronicles, right? People get on them and the moon phase was wrong. Shit happens. We're only human, and you tell a story long enough, things get embellished or things get taken away. Doesn't mean it was a lie. Doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm sure I've screwed up my own story several times. I told you I did it on the STM shoot. I was more nervous focusing on a camera than I was my story. Doesn't mean someone's lying. That means they're human. I think if the story's perfect each and every other time, you're rehearsing it, and then it becomes a script. There's that little joke I put in to the story when I'm retelling my encounter, the epitome of gun safety. I put that one in there every time because it triggers the audience. It lets me know they're still engaged. So I put that in there every time so I know people are listening. But other than that, most of the time it's, I'm still struggling to try to tell the story because it's still real to me. It's still personal. And you are reliving it every time you're telling it. There are people that just, as the stories get more and more dynamic or they get more and more involved, it gets harder to believe, and listen, I've talked to a lot of people. I've heard some pretty outlandish story. Bigfoot knocked on my back door and asked me for garlic in English, perfect English. Jan Carter. But there are folks out there that have had some, and I'm writing a book with Matt Arner called Elusive Truth. It's coming out soon. We're probably past due getting the copy to Heather at STM Publishing. Sorry. Writing's hard. And one of the stories in there I talk about is there's a whole bunch of us together with a witness that's got these pictures, and he's showing this enlargement of photos. And he's saying, oh, we got a Bigfoot here and so on and so forth. And James Baker, one of my best friends, still relatively new to the research, goes, do you have the original? And the guy goes, oh, yeah, I got him. He goes into his car, pulls out these Polaroids. They're Polaroids taken out his bay window into his grandmother's garden. But in his mind, everything that he circled are these beings. There's a cloaked gray, there's a panther, there's a Bigfoot. Like, you have all these people here, in front of this guy. The guy feels important, right? People are listening to him. He matters. And then with one question kind of pulls the rug out from under everything. Deflates the room, right? All the air. Everybody's thinking, oh, this is a great witness. And then wet fart. And it just ruined the mood for everybody. And I mean, you had some real credible investigators there willing to listen to this guy. And all it took was somebody asking one question: do you have the original? That blew the whole thing apart. So, yeah, I mean, some people do it, Mike, just to feel important. And with all these podcasts and everything we do, and I'm guilty of this because I've been doing it for 20 years, we give people the perfect guide to hoaxing. All you have to do is listen. And if you have a slight amount of intelligence, you could probably pull off a big hoax and probably get a lot of people to believe you, but you're going to screw it up because you're going to make it more fantastic than it needs to be. And people just aren't that good at lying. They're not. That's why there's prisons, because people suck at lying.
She's got
As
a question.
Jeannie would always say, or does always say, oh, what a tangled when we weave.
Remember,
right, Mom?
You gotta
Where
remember,
are you?
You got to remember the lie all the way through. You can't forget it.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, what a tangled.
You guys have been out there for a while. We've been out there together. Are you a guy that goes out and knocks and screams and yells when you're out there? Or do you go out and just chill out and listen and,
It all depends on who we're out there with and what we're trying to do. If we're trying to provoke, yeah. But I don't know if we do that so much anymore. The problem is when you're call blasting and knocking, you don't know what the hell it means. And the more I read about chimpanzees, the less I want to do the knocking. And Mike, you're somebody that respects primates and follows primate behavior. And like when you start understanding that chimpanzees are 99% DNA identical to us, right? That 1% is not something I want to mess with. And if these creatures, I had a dream once, Christy, okay, that in my dream,
Me too.
I came face to face with a Bigfoot. All right. And this thing was like the gnarliest, most mutated chimpanzee I've ever seen. It had a very chimpanzee-like face. That startled the hell out of me because, I think when people think of Bigfoot, they think of gorilla. I don't think so. I think it's more related to chimpanzee in that genus than it is gorilla. I really do. And that dream scared the hell out of me because I don't know. I've always hated chimpanzees. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to hate anything, but they're like evil munchkins to me. I have a legitimate fear of them. They're not friendly beings and they're evil. And
no, they're not.
If Bigfoot are just big, gigantic chimpanzees, I'm surprised more people haven't died, to be honest. And I'm not out there trying to say Bigfoot's this big, scary monster that'll kill you, but missing 911's around for 411's around for a reason. We don't know, right? And when we're out there banging on trees and making noises, we could be doing mating calls. We could be doing threats. We don't know what we're doing. Yet we continuously do it and we think it's okay. One day someone's going to screw around and find out. And maybe somebody already has. We don't know because they're not going to be around to tell us about it.
See, and that is my thought process for a lot of things in life. I always see the backside of things, and you're right, because we don't know. There's still truly no proof out there. There are things that can't be explained, but there are things that can't be explained with the paranormal too. So you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know what it is you're dealing with. So just because everyone is doing it, it doesn't mean, number one, it's accurate. And two, if you're not sure what's going to happen, why are you going to do it? Because say you knock and all of a sudden you've got this big ass Squatch standing 10 feet from you. What are you going to do?
Goodbye,
right?
Baker. Trip, kick, and I'm out.
Exactly. So I have a question for you then to kind of pile on to all this. So are you ever out in the woods? Are you ever investigating or researching or whatever part of it you're doing and feel like you're dealing with spiritual energy and not necessarily anything that's living, breathing human?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's a great question. I think you look at that kind of twofold. And I don't remember who I was talking to about this recently, but and you said it earlier tonight, energy is kind of everywhere. And every living thing has energy, right? And forests are really
everything is energy,
right?
Yeah,
forests are living cities, so they probably do have their own energy that you're feeling. I think it's differentiating the energies that you're feeling. Is it a calming feeling, a soothing feeling? Like I feel more grounded when I'm in nature, and I also don't like to leverage technology so much. I think it really distracts us from what we're really supposed to be paying attention to. So I'm not a high-tech researcher. I don't take a lot out in the woods with me, a flashlight, and I barely use that. And I still kind of rely on notebooks. And I know that's going to limit what I'm able to get. But that's why I bring other people along that are adept and know how to use that stuff. That's just not my thing. And yeah, I don't know if I've experienced it cognizantly, but I'm pretty sure there have been times where I'm like, oh, that feels weird, or what was that? And I think when we pay attention to more of those what was that moments, maybe we find a little bit more. And it's just getting yourself in the moment to identify it and recognize it, then just kind of dismiss it as fleeting. And again, like you're talking about slowing down, and we're not in a world that's about slow anymore. We're in a world that's fast. Yeah. We want everything. We want instant gratification. And no matter if we're watching TV, reading a book, sorry, Mike, I don't know, but you're, we just
got to have big pictures in it.
Sorry. We have to give my kid the two minutes of fame he's looking for right now. This is my son who thinks he's a comedian.
She'll read your mind.
I guess I just should be grateful that he actually tuned into one of my shows. Hey, hello, win. Honey.
That's a win. Good job. Support your mom. That's great stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
I forgot my line of thought. What was I saying? Something profound there, and that's what happened.
It really was. But you know what? You're right, because to add on to what we were talking about with that, like to be in tune, right? And to really have other people, whether it's technology, but really use ourselves as the conduits and as the biggest tool that we have, the biggest instrument. How many times, Mike, have we gone somewhere and we walk through the woods and somebody wants to know what I pick up on? Love you too, babe. And I'm like, oh, somebody drowned there. Oh, somebody was attacked there. Oh shit, there was a massacre over here. Or right. So a lot of times too, we could be out in the woods looking for what we think is a flesh and blood thing and get a weird feeling. And it has nothing to do with that at all. But because we can't identify what we're picking up on and what we're feeling, but because we're out there with intention, focused on one thing, right? Or the idea of one thing, we will automatically associate it with that when it could be something else. So I love your perspective and your whole idea. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. Watch your mouth, Mom. I'm going to kill him. He doesn't return my text message for 3 freaking days, but then I get at 12 o'clock at night. Sorry, Mom.
Call your mother.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sorry.
But you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying though? Like it's
hey, indigenous people didn't use iPhones, they didn't use FLIR, and they have stories of these in their records for
right.
That predate us. So I mean, just slow down. I guess what, because I was saying that, we go at a mile a minute, like let's slow it down and think, and it's practice what you preach, right? That starts with us too, really doing it. And I'm sure if we do that and do it more
100%.
consistently, we love you too, Jimmy. We really do. Great people. I say that all the time. They're just the best people.
I did it.
Call your mom, Billy. Call your mom.
Not right now, Billy.
No, not right now. She's on the air, but call her. Answer her text message. Takes 10 seconds.
You're really making a point of where we go, and like if you guys ever get a chance to look at Matt Larson's work there, the Central Kentucky Bigfoot, I want to say Central Florida, but Matt really takes his time when he's out there to take the nature photos, to actually take in nature instead of everything. I mean, that's I generally again, we're gonna gimbal them because that's the
I'm gonna pee all night, you know that, right?
I'm gonna thumbs up here because I'm not drinking at the moment because I missed the memo.
Water.
I went to 3 packs a day here.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Yes, happy birthday, Steve.
But the thing is that taking your time. I mean, having that camera, sometimes just taking that nature in, the breathtaking sights. But like you said, the energy with nature and stuff. If you watch some of the videos that are out there lately, where they're actually taking fungi, different mushrooms, and they're hooking them up to different electrodes, and they're playing music. They hook them up like a synthesizer, and they're playing like 80s rock. And that's something that's like over the last couple of months of what they're doing. Or you watch, Paulie's not in this thing here tonight. It's not a mold. Yeah, slime mold.
What's your language? That's rude.
Yeah,
he's a
slime
person.
mold.
Sorry, slime mold. Whoever you are out there.
They use slime mold to turn around and figure out the high-speed trains in Japan, because a one-celled organism can move. So what else is out there in nature that we're missing? Just taking your feet off, or taking your shoes off, and just grounding yourself.
That's that Paul Stamets mycelial shit that you're talking about right there. The mushrooms and the fungus and the all kinds of weird things that are happening. That guy's an interesting guy. They did something from Star Trek with him, but you guys got to stop and research some Paul Stamets stuff. He stopped with gimbal.
Gimbal.
Mike, James Baker, again, one of my best friends. I like to reference these guys a lot. One of the other problems we have is people don't know how to use the equipment fully when they buy it. So they're out there in the woods playing with it when they're trying to collect evidence. Do the playing and the figure it out before it's important, so you're not stumbling with it when it comes time to use it. And when we're doing in that investigation Bigfoot episode where we find that thing in the tree, right, with the eyes, we still don't know what that is to today. Could it be a raccoon? Who knows? But it was freaky. And Aaron Deese did one thing that nobody else does. His camera went out, he grabbed his phone and got the footage.
Yeah.
Because he knew how to use it. He grabbed it and got it. And as James Baker would like to say, Patterson barely did that. So it was, when you think about that, these things are complicated. They do have features and settings that you got to use. And you fumble around in the dark. It's like prom night all over again, practice before you go. And you'll have better success.
I mean, I didn't fumble in prom night, but that's, hey,
Hey,
teach his own.
I didn't fumble on prom night either. Okay. That was the
Sorry, Mom.
Your kids are in the audience, huh?
Yeah.
Mom.
Call your mother.
Oh, I don't care about that. Who are you kidding? I love
This
embarrassing
is
my
not the
kids,
show you tuned in for tonight, but it's the one you deserve and it's the one you got. Okay.
Yep. Everything happens for a reason.
That's
it's
right.
my job to embarrass my kids.
That's fantastic. I wasn't.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But you're right. Yeah, you.
Oh, go ahead.
Don't share that stuff. No, go ahead. Jump out.
No, we need to address this.
Her notes. My prom night out. The band was every prom night, no date. We got to get Larson out with you guys.
Someone's got to have a drink for
Oh shit.
from Matt's prom night. Get a drink, have a drink for his lack of prom night activities. Well, sorry.
This water's really good.
Good for you, Matt, for being the epitome
just
of
for the record,
propriety.
it was with my what? Moving on.
Yes.
I really got to address this. You know how this goes. You don't know how this goes.
I got it back again. I just
That's screwing with me.
Oh, I'm going to do the thing then.
Dude, you're killing me. Put me back where I belong. Thank you.
I had a stroke.
You and me both. First show when we were back, he actually tried putting me on the opposite side. I was like, you got to switch this. You're screwing with my head. Like, I can't. You got to be on the other side. Awful. All right. So for those of you who have been with us for quite a while, you know how this goes. And usually if I have a guest, I think part of this has maybe to do with you, Sean, but I'm not sure that it all does. So I need everybody in the chat to pay attention to this, like with all seriousness, because I thank you, Matt. I have this female who's been talking to me. These are my notes. Let me know if you can identify with any of this. And anybody in the chat, please validate what you can. If you can. So what started it off was I was catching a glimpse of, do you have pictures on your wall behind you in frames?
Me?
Sean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. All kinds, all through here.
All right. So at one point, and this was not necessarily the picture I was looking at, but that set off the thing. It was like the opening for her to step forward. So I saw like this. It looks to be like a senior portrait. It's a portrait from, the side profile, and the smile. It might not actually be the senior portrait, but it's a nice professional picture. I picked up on this female who feels like she went missing. Her style is of the late 70s, early 80s. I had a pressure and a pain in the top of my head. And then I was someplace else. This got a little harried because I want to say a case that I had helped work on with somebody else. Excuse me, this kind of was similar to that. I saw what looked to be like, again, it was almost like as a little kid in the 80s, we used to think that we're like a lemon shaped kind of a car, but it was more sporty looking, and it looked like it was white. But I was in this big open area, a lot of gravel, a lot of muddy spots, some puddles here and there, like it had rained and everything was just settled from after the rain. Loose asphalt and gravel. There was some grass. I could look up almost as if, there was like a bridge of an overpass over here because I could see where I could go underneath it. Or I could go up where like the grass and the dead grass would go up to the highway or whatever road that wasn't there. Then I heard somebody say Mary. So when I hear someone say the name out loud like that to me, they're not usually talking about spirit. Spirit is telling me who or what is alive now that they want to talk about. So there's got to be a Mary that's associated with her that must still be alive now, or maybe Mary is the name of something or a street or a code word. I don't know. But it's something that we could identify with now in the here and the now. All of a sudden I couldn't breathe, and I heard a female voice say, "I can't breathe." And my chest, like in here, but like down in my lower lungs and in my back, where your doctor listens to your back to hear your lower lungs, it felt like my chest got crushed. Like I just couldn't breathe, like it got crushed. this girl, this young woman, had very dark brown hair. It was shoulder length. It definitely just only came down to her shoulders, but it was that typical fluffy, layered, wavy, tapered 70s, early 80s kind of a style to it. Very pretty, just very, full. She looked like she had fair skin. Then all of a sudden, and this is where I'm not sure if this is the same thing or not, I'm in a car and I'm driving. So my perspective when it comes to a car or an accident, my perspective tells me a lot. And in this particular case, I had to have been looking through the person's eyes. So first person, I was the driver. And this car I'm in is spinning out of control, and it's just spinning, and then it crashes. And then at one point I was standing and it felt like I got jerked back, like a bigger man came up behind me and grabbed me by the shoulders and yanked me out of there. Not out of the car, but I was just standing somewhere. I don't know if these events are out of order. It's just what came to me and how. So can you validate any of this, Sean? Does any of this make sense to you?
I don't know. I'm in a building that's got a lot of history. That's why I'm wondering what you're saying. And
Okay.
I would have to, it would not surprise me. It's funny you said large, parking lot, asphalt, gravel, muddy spots. The parking lot in this building just got paved like a year ago. And if you had seen it beforehand, it was dead ass descriptive of what you said.
Okay.
It was, and we're not that far from the highway. Really not that far from a bridge or a overpass. So it could be relative. And you could be putting a lot of things together that could be, this area could kind of be that catalyst or center point for it.
Okay. All right. Well, I did my job. I got it out there. I've got this peeker over here. Looks like a taller guy, but he hasn't really showed much to me. So he's going to have to take a hike here in a few minutes when we're done, but hoping he'll give me more. If not, but if anybody who heard this thinks of anything or is able to validate anything, call me, text me, message me, let me know. Okay.
There's one or two people that are listening in the background. I wonder if it might be information for
Right.
them. So
I'm wondering too. It is very possible that there might be more than one thing going on. That's why I've started with that, because I'm not positive. So, but thank you. I did my part.
car thing sounds like my Aunt Nina. Car thing sounds like my Aunt Nina and Uncle Jack.
What do you mean, Erica? The car thing, like the spinning? Kind of pain in my arm. Like I'm finding that I'm massaging this muscle in my arm.
I don't know. So. Oh. They passed that way.
I'm so sorry. Was she driving? Who was this? This was your aunt who?
Nina and Uncle Jack. Car crash.
Oh, this is your uncle. Your uncle was tall. In my hand, like this is just getting worse. Your uncle is as playful and active as ever. He's been messing with me almost all night. I just keep hearing, but we're okay now. We're okay now. And there are people in the family, especially two women, who really need to hear that from them right now. So I don't know if there's an anniversary coming up. I don't know if there's something that special date of some sort, or somebody needs to hear that for whatever they're going through. Okay, so that was definitely separate. I felt like that was separate from the other stuff.
Yep, that's Jack.
Thank you. Okay, good. So at least I know he'll leave when it's over then.
And yeah, and more confirmation. Yes.
He's going like this. He's like giving me the piece. Like he keeps ducking around this corner here of my hallway. He's like, so yeah. His daughter and granddaughter. Okay. All right.
We got to forget that we're going back to making this back to a audio podcast, and I got to keep reading those things off.
That's right.
It's a challenge.
And not to interrupt everybody while I'm doing it.
Yeah, right. He's been lectured on that a few times. So Michael works very hard on this show, even though it doesn't look like it. I'm teasing. No, but thank you for that. And I'm really sorry for your loss. So those two things. How about the shoulders, the being grabbed by the shoulders from behind? Does that anything that you can connect with too, Erica, or no? Maybe it was just the car crash.
That's what happens when I skip doing a reading show and they're still thinking. The next episode is a reading show. Sean, is there anything we forgot? Is there anything upcoming events you've got coming?
No, it's a low key year this year, Mike. I'm laying low. This is a year for me. Back to the research. Got to finish the book. As much as I love going to events, there's a time you got to back off a little bit. And this is the year I'm kind of just resting up and relaxing. Got a lot going on. I just need to chill and get this book done because I owe it to my publishers, and I owe. And that's it. I mean, other than that, like,
you have a family, right?
I have 3 kids. I have, they're 2 adults and a 15-year-old. So my,
okay. So you're still going.
We got kids, but they as they get older, they need you just as much. Don't think they don't need you when they're older. Sometimes they need you more.
They do.
Right.
Yes. So, as my son with the 2 kids popped in here.
I'm a dad first. I'm a husband first and a father, and then everything else falls after that. Mm-hmm. That was remarkable, by the way. I'm following that from beginning to end there. That reading was pretty spectacular. It was impressive to me.
Thank you.
You got to wait till we're out in the woods, Sean, and she called us, and Max and Matt and Bill will admit to what she's done, and literally like remote view and tell us where we're at and describe the trees around us. Or that's the running joke in the YouTube stuff with the Voorhees State Forest, because if you met Max Powers,
no, I haven't.
Okay, I know I haven't been able to meet him yet either.
He was at Ohio at OVC last year with Matt and stuff like that. But he's camping out in Voorhees State Forest, and Christy goes and describes exactly where he's camping out in the Heart-shaped lake that's right in there. In Voorhees, the whole Jason, the whole and he's like, and just totally freaked him out. And she's done it to him like 2 or 3 times, or or throw out a specific number of a 4th guy. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is too, like, he goes on these things. And so, I know I'm going to kind of be on call when he goes out and does this shit. So here I'm like sometimes in the middle of Wegmans food shopping or.
Matt's with him right
I'm like,
now.
Hold on. What's it?
So.
Matt was with you. Yep.
Yeah. So these poor guys have been tortured by me, through her going, okay, no GPS, turn the phones off completely. And you guys are here.
That's special.
You're welcome. Okay. You are welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Erica.
So the book's coming out. Your show And when is
Oh,
that
yes.
available?
Tell us about your show.
Sasquatch Experience every other Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. SasquatchExperience.com, here on Facebook or on YouTube. Either way, you can tune in and find us. I apologize in advance. It's a fun time. I think so. You don't know what you're going to get every episode. That's for sure. We try to have a format. Some show are better than others, but at the end of the day, you have a bunch of guys talking about Bigfoot and having fun. That's what it's about.
That's awesome.
It's a great podcast. And
Thank you. Yeah,
I've
that's
had
awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
I've had a pleasure being with you guys a couple of times. We did a really nice.
Oh, yeah. It's
Matt
always a good
was.
time.
Oh, that's right. Matt was with you guys for the Swamp Ape episodes.
Yeah, we had Matt on with the Swamp Ape episodes, and that was really good. I mean, whenever you can get somebody with some expertise on there in a category, is always wonderful. Like we want to talk to people that have experience and have not just Sasquatch experiences, but with technology and backgrounds in photography, videography, science, all that other fun stuff. We want to talk to those folks because, again, collaborative, right? It helps us get one step closer to solving one of these mysteries.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
That was the fastest 2 hours we've had in a long
In a
time.
long time.
That's what she said. Couldn't resist.
No, she would never say that because you're talking about 2 hours, okay?
Okay, well,
2 hours, my foot.
time displacement, right? Man.
Porta
2
potty.
hours in, guy
crew.
world, maybe.
So 15 minutes? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, wait a minute. I need to go. Where's the damn
I
there?
know.
Not for younger audiences.
Now rated R for adult
I have-
audiences
Listen,
only.
nobody younger should be on. It's 10 o'clock on a school
I
night.
have
All right,
tickers
go to
for
bed.
that.
Go to bed,
Yeah.
kids. Go to bed. Call your mothers and go to bed.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. So anything else like your followers, your readers, your
Listen, if you want to connect with me
need to
on
know about
social
you.
media, I'm Sean Forker. I don't hide behind a pseudonym. I'm me. I'm a pretty socially active person. You can connect with me. If you're stupid, I'll ignore you, but we could be friends. That's all right. Listen, 2:00 in the morning, people ping you and they're like, hey, I have this great idea. And I respond, read a damn book. They're out there. It's already in this book. I am that person. My sleep is hard to come by. Don't disrupt it with something stupid. I have business hours.
yeah.
We have lives, people. We have lives.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Steve
do.
Martin? The actor Steve Martin? I wish.
I was gonna say.
So
I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me,
Interesting.
guys. Seriously.
Thank you.
I have
Thank
a
you
tendency
for
to
being here.
hijack. I'm sorry. That was my
No,
pleasure.
this is please. No, that's what our show is all about. So no. you
Meet the
did great.
Fockers. Listen, there
Love
are a
that
lot
movie.
there aren't that many Forkers around. My email is meettheforkers@gmail.com, by the way.
I love that.
I've been trying to pitch a reality show for the longest time called Meet the Forkers because I have a pretty interesting family. Like a lot of my family's into the paranormal. Like I didn't talk about that at the beginning, but my grandfather just passed away. When in the end of October, Mike, I think we all had a lot of loss last year.
yeah,
And he was really important to me. And he kind of, growing up, he enthralled me into this world of the crazy and the unknown and the unexplained. And so it's always been a big thing in our family. I'm the only one that's actually gone out and investigated it and kind of done this as a, I don't want to say profession, but as a hobby profession kind of deal.
Mhm.
But my grandfather back in the day used to hold a UFO study group under the guise of a Bible study because, they were kind of, taboo back then. So he, the paranormal's nothing unusual in my family. So we like to go in and we talk about these things. They've always been open points of discussion for us. So I have a very interesting family.
Very cool.
And we enjoy talking about this shit. And I'm trying to get them all to go out and do this in stages. Like my kids, I have 3 beautiful, wonderfully smart children that'll be far smarter than I am. I've got one of 3 that's actually kind of interested in this, which is kind of disappointing.
Okay.
But you know
Aw.
what? They've all done it, but I think I've got one to carry on the torch when I die. So
But you should do it with them now.
They'll get the most in the will. Oh, when I can get him, he's 19. He's still kind of into girls and driving, that became cooler than Bigfoot for a while. Women, I get it.
Right. He's young.
I get it. That's right.
Yes.
They come with you to conferences and stuff like that.
Oh, my daughter. My daughter loves the art part of it. She's an artist. She's enthralled by the art. She loves the people and the personalities. She's very much like her mother. She's more reserved than her father, but she loves it. And we have a great time. She's one of my favorite traveling partners. And, but yeah, I mean, again, it's a lot different now than it was when I was a kid. This stuff you don't get made fun of for liking this stuff now. It's cool. Oh my God, your dad does Bigfoot. He's a monster hunter. I have my kids' friends adding me on Facebook. Like, what the hell do you want to follow me for? Yep. I'm old, but you do cool stuff,
Yeah. You do. Or you get my kids who call from work or school. Mom, so-and-so lost their necklace. Can you help me find it?
I don't have that talent. I don't have that talent.
Call from the youngest the other day at work. So-and-so lost her bracelet. We can't find it. We looked all over.
I'm very much a sitcom dad, Christy. I'm like a white Carl Winslow, though. Like, if I had to pick a sitcom dad.
I used to love that show.
Me too. I'm very much a white Carl Winslow.
All right.
I'm going to change my screen name to that now, white Carl Winslow. Hashtag that, folks. Sean Forker, white Carl Winslow.
Oh, you're too funny. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. I had a lot of fun.
Good.
This is what it's like out in the woods with Mike and I. It's why we never find Bigfoot.
Yeah. And you just made that point with, we go with our families, we go with our friends.
Right.
When we go out and help our friends do their docks and stuff like that, yes, that's their business, but we get to hang with our friends while they're doing it. It's like your friend that owns the local restaurant or the local coffee shop. You go in, you hang out with them, and they're working and getting paid, and you're just chilling along, or the local mechanic,
And look, I might be biased, Mike, but nobody's doing it better right now.
No,
they're really not.
Absolutely nobody. They're not out hoaxing or anything like that.
No.
And, like I said, we always got to support them. And, I have to give, every time I get a chance, I got to give those guys the credit that, pretty much saved my life, got me healthy again, because dragging me out and sticking my butt on that screen in Canton,
give you a lot. It gives you a lot of purpose, right? It makes you feel, in a way, it still makes you feel relevant, that what you're doing matters. And that's important too. Like, what we are doing does matter, Mike. There's not a lot of people doing it. It seems like it, but there's not a lot of people doing it, and there's very few doing it right. So
and consistent.
Yeah. I talked to Darby on Sunday, and he's got some cool projects as well as the hair project. There's some things coming down the pike, so there's some stuff. So
stay tuned, folks, for more.
Yes.
Exactly. See?
All right, folks. We have kind of run over our usual, so we could go all night, and we have all gone all night. And I think what we just need to do is get in the car and do a road trip down to that little spot in Pennsylvania, and let Christy do some work up on that hill.
You tell me when. I'll make sure I'm off work, and we'll make this happen.
We'll get with the boys and make sure it's not a snow day like the last time.
Let's wait till like April. No, because I think it was in April when we did it the last
time. It was April.
Yeah, it was April.
It was, but you had some bad luck with that weather.
No, it's Alex and Brian. Those two guys get together, and Matt and
freaking snowstorm,
and Bill will agree with it. Those two get together, and there is moisture coming somewhere, be it rain, be it snow.
Crazy.
It's coming.
So,
well,
thank you all. And
yes. All right. So we'll say thank you. And if you want to hang out for a minute in the backstage,
please. Yeah.
We'll thank you properly when we're done.
Yes.
All right.
So, Christy, your line.
Well, we have to remind everybody. Hello. God, you're so impatient.
I'm just slow today.
You're tired and crabby. I think you're tired and crabby.
Yeah, waterproof blind. Yeah, right. Go. We saw there's film of that not being waterproof.
Maybe it'll float away like the kayak you were supposed to be in.
Rehydration. Matt, those are shirts. We're gonna send that to them. Yeah, they
Oh
just
my
filmed
God.
in like Illinois, and they had a snow. We had the snowstorm. Leave it
Yes.
to them.
That's
So.
insane. All right, everybody. So our next show is going to be on February 10th. Can you believe it's going to be February already? This is insane.
It's absolutely nuts.
Crazy. But February 10th, and it is going to be a reading show. We know we have not dedicated a total show yet to a reading show. So that will be it. So spread the word. Make sure that everybody knows so that nobody misses a message. Okay. So that's 2 weeks away. It feels like forever, but it'll be here before.
Hello?
No.
You froze.
Hello.
Or I froze. Yep. It was interesting.
Oh. So anything you want to add?
Be safe. Sample on. Check out the new Small Town Monsters. The Return to Whitehall and the High Peaks episodes. Really good episodes. Those guys do a great job. Mark Maskey does a really nice job of narrating them, and the girls do a great job. So thank you for the fans of being here. And
Yes, we appreciate all of you. So
I'm
until
mumbling.
next time,
Great show.
stay
Be safe
safe.
and sample on.
Good night,
Push the
everybody.
button.